Arthur grabbed the woman's hand and placed it in front of the meat grinder, forcing the woman's father to reveal the answer. Seeing that the man refused to answer, Arthur lost his patience. After getting the answer, Arthur finally shut off the meat grinder, but the girl's hand was injured. It turned out that what had been put into the meat grinder was a piece of meat, and Arthur had never intended to harm the girl. The address was that of Arthur's superior, whom he needed to find to seek revenge. Not long ago, Arthur had received a mission from his superior, who claimed that his trusted partner Harry had betrayed him, and Arthur was tasked with eliminating Harry. Driven by his assassin's creed, Arthur complied, but later, he discovered that it was his superior who had betrayed him, and Harry had uncovered the betrayal. To prevent the truth from coming out, the superior used Arthur to kill Harry. Enraged upon learning he had been used, Arthur sought revenge. He threatened the man to reveal the address of his superior's building. Soon after, the boss received Arthur's call. The boss immediately became alert and called several bodyguards to escort him out. But Arthur wasn't inside the building. He was waiting for him downstairs. He first placed a camera at the entrance of the parking lot and waited in the car for the right moment. Meanwhile, Arthur's apprentice Steve drove a bus from the front and crashed into the boss's car, forcing it to stop. Ultimately, the boss's car was overturned, and the two got out of the car and fired wildly at the boss. On the way back, Arthur told Steve he had decided to officially leave the organization, but Steve disagreed because his father was dead, and he wanted to avenge his father. He wanted to continue killing evildoers to release his hatred, and Arthur could only respect his choice. The two arrived at a gas station. Steve got out to refuel the car, but he secretly moved the fuel nozzle out of the tank, causing gasoline to spill onto the ground. Steve hid nearby, pulled out a gun, and fired at the car, triggering an explosion that killed Arthur inside. It turned out that a short time earlier, Steve had found a handgun in Arthur's warehouse, and this handgun had been his father's personal sidearm. Steve was heartbroken that the man who had killed his father was his own mentor, but he quickly made his decision. He would seek revenge. Sometime later, Steve went to Arthur's garage and drove off in his car, but suddenly he noticed a note on the passenger seat. Then the car exploded, and Steve died as a result. It turned out that Arthur had already sensed the danger that day and rolled into another car before the explosion, successfully surviving. On that day in the car, Arthur had already given Steve a chance, but Steve still chose to be a killer. Since that was the case, Arthur wouldn't leave himself any trouble, even if it was his best friend's son, so he decided without hesitation to eliminate Steve.